Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. This is of course HD StarCraft and I'm here to bring you guys another 2v2 Heart of the Storm broadcast. Hope you guys are ready for this one. We're going to be going back to the Pink Jack, who is now the purple Protoss player, and his name is going to be his teammate is going to be of course Ililkanen, and he is going to be the Teal Terran. Where have I seen this combination before? Well, of course, casted a couple of their 2v2 games in my YouTube channel, and it looks like Ililkanen saying that you're famous now as the Pink Jack, and I'm not too sure why he would say that. So his opponent is going to be Death Dealer as the teal, or the blue Zerg player, excuse me, and his teammate is going to be Storm. Oh, okay, that's why. So he said that. Oh, that's why, because I casted his game, so he's famous. Yeah, okay, good stuff. You guys are all famous now because I'm going to be casting more 2v2s of you guys. You guys make some pretty interesting matchups, and his teammate is going to be Storm, and both of them are actually going for very early spawning pool here. This is a 2v2 Heart of the Swarm matchup, guys, if you guys were curious at all, but it looks like it might just end very quickly right now because our heroes, our two players, Ililkanen, who streams on Team Liquid, and his teammate, the Pink Jack, are in so much trouble right now. You know, they're not Zerg, obviously, so they're not going to be able to get any type of scouting in the early game. They might be able to get a quick SCV or a probe out across the map, but this is a 4-player map, 4-player 2v2 map. I know, it's massive. So it is kind of hard to actually get your worker over there and find out what's going on, and I guess Death Dealer and his teammate Storm are banking on the fact that they are not going to be scouted early on, and they are just going for a very quick double spawning pool rush. Now it looks like Storm went for 10 pull, 10 gas or something like that, so he's going to be backing up this spawning pool aggression with speed pretty soon here, whereas Death Dealer is not, but he will have a little bit more Zerglings to counter that. So this is going to be a very heavy rush here, and there is no wall set up for Ililkanen or Pink Jack. They are in a lot of trouble right now. Better hope that this Lyoti comes back and helps block for them, but nope. Looks like the Zerglings are going to run right on by, and it looks like now the SCV is just going to run away. Now that's really bad because if the barracks isn't finished, there's almost no hope here for Ililkanen and his teammate to actually hold against this type of aggression. They can't make any units. The barracks is canceled, and Pink Jack says lol, XD, so smiley faces, and now it's pretty much, I mean, how do you win a game at this point? I don't know if you can. The pylon in the main base is starting to go down as well. Pink Jack brings all of his pros out. Luckily for him, he does have a zealot. It's really going to come down to Pink Jack and his zealots here holding the line. Now, even if he loses this one pylon, it's not absolutely terrible, but at the same time, he will be supply blocked if he loses it, so they really can't afford to lose anything here. It looks like that pylon will just barely stay alive, which allows the next zealot to come out. I think that Storm and Death Dealer should actually go for that pylon and kill it off, but now it's too late. The secondary zealot is out on the map. And it looks like these Zerglings now are going to say, okay, screw the Protoss, let's go for the Terran. Try to get rid of this SCV building the barracks so that he can't produce any forces. Actually, there are 2 barracks being made right now as Ililkanen realizes he needs forces, and he needs them now. So he goes for a double racks. He will get one of them up. He gets a second one up as well. And it looks like maybe Death Dealer and Storm waiting a little bit too long. But oh, look at this! Banelings coming in from Storm! He goes for Banelings! And great probe splitting by the Pink Jack, who it looks like he's going to be able to split almost all of his probes apart here, and the Banelings are like, well, I want to go for them. No, I don't want to go for him. They're trying to make up their mind here, but they don't know who to go for. It's like, well, there isn't really anything that makes it cost effective because a Baneling actually costs quite a bit compared to a worker. Now finally detonates 2 to kill off 3 workers, and this Baneling, this last one, tries to go for the Terran player, but there were already 2 Marines there, so now we understand why Storm was trying to go for Banelings. Looks like a sentry might have gone down for Pink Jack. Oh no, the sentry is stuck inside the buildings. Gonna be pretty much worthless. He would have hoped to get him at the front here to try to help force field the ramp, or maybe just obviously use force fields to help defend the main base here. And a couple of Zerglings now gonna try to run up to the purple Protoss base. Gonna take out a couple of probes. Current worker count. Obviously, the 2 Zergs have limited themselves quite a bit by going for this early aggression, but at the same time, man, they're just playing the merry-go-round race with the enemy workers. They're forcing them to not even mine. They're running around the place. A lot of SCVs are taking damage here, and, you know, the 2 Zergs back at home, they're not under any threat at all, so right now they can be droning up if they so choose to, or they can just continue to send more Zerglings and Banelings across the map. It looks like, for now, they're just continuing to send more Zerglings and Banelings into their enemy bases. Banelings here, it looks like they might get close to the jackpot, but not quite. Very nice control right there from Alilkanin, who keeps most of his SCVs alive. Now trying to Zealot micro is the Pink Jack. He loses one Zealot. It looks like a Baneling trying to get in, but the force field is too pro. Even when the sentry is jailed in by his own buildings, he still helps out the jailers, his masters, and he gets the force field down to prevent his probes from going down. So very nice right there. And now it looks like back at home, Death Dealer thinking, hey, maybe we need a little bit of defense. It's actually gotten a macro hatch at the front door and it's going to crawl that up. Not too often that you see a Zerg player trying to crawl up the front door with a macro hatch, but there you have it. A couple of probes that were still kind of chilling over there, running away from Banelings, are now going to be able to get back home and start mining. These two sentries going to work down this pylon to free the sentry and get out of there, so that he can be reincorporated back into the forces for the Pink Jack and Alilkanin. It looks like for now, the two Zerg players have definitely cut down on the aggression. They are trying to drone up now to stay on top economy-wise. You know, looking at all four players' numbers of harvesters right now, I would definitely say it's a very, very close game. Might just be the Pink Jack who has the lead right now. He's got 19 workers alive. He's done a fantastic job at not losing really any workers at all. Most of the actual hits were done to the Terran player, who you can see right here, a lot of SCVs are still in the red, just trying to recover from that aggression. But now, hey, if you've got a crawl wall at the front, what if I go by the skies, says the Pink Jack. He's going to come in through with a mothership core and try to take out a couple of drones, but these drones are just going to run away over to the natural. Of course, there is a queen here, and a queen can beat a mothership core one-on-one, so the Pink Jack here might be wise to go ahead and just get out of there. It was a clever idea to bring the mothership core in, but you know, since it's a double Zerg composition, you would expect to see queens there, and that mothership core probably going to have to pull out for now. Think about a better it looks like there was even a spore crawler that was going to come up to help defend, but not really that necessary. This queen can just come back home and push that mothership core away. So very high octane aggression to start the game off, but now things kind of settling down a little bit as the Pink Jack is going up to 3-gate Stargate. Might see oracles coming out momentarily for him. Alilkanin is going to obviously go with barracks play, but he does have a factory coming as well, so he might try to go for quick Widow Mines here. That's what I would go for. You know, anytime you're in a situation like this, Widow Mines just provide you such a great defensive boost against the Zerg, because if the Zerg tries to ram in a bunch of Zerglings, guess what? 1 or 2 Widow Mines and it's like, lol, you know, the Zerglings are going to die. So if you can get a couple of Widow Mines up here at the front on top of the ramp, that's really going to shut down any Zergling potential run-bys. And we'll see what he decides to go for right now, adding on a reactor. The starport is making an oracle, so we do have an oracle on the way for the Pink Jack. Oracles are a fantastic unit for harassing drones. They are also very good incorporated into the main Protoss army, even in 2v2s, especially in 2v2s, because of the time warp field, basically giving a Protoss the ability to slow down an entire field of units on the ground. It's very, very helpful. One Hellion is actually going to go out into the middle here, checking for a potential expansion, where a lot of Zerglings are actually coming down. They are speed upgrading. That Hellion surrounded into the bushes. I don't know what he was doing. They decided to burn up a tree. That's why you hire pyromaniacs to drive those Hellions, man. At their last moment of life, they decide to burn down an innocent tree. But Alilkanin here, and a check once again at the front door, sees that it's pretty much walled in quite tightly. No chance of really getting up there. Meanwhile, oracles are being made out of the Stargate. It's actually quite amazing that the Pink Jack was able to secure a natural expansion this quickly, despite that early aggression. So the Zergs really don't have that extra base advantage that you'd expect them to be at. In a 1v1 matchup, you usually want to have more hatcheries than a Terran or a Protoss. In a 2v2, that remains true. And at this point, both teams, excuse me, are about on the same number of bases. So maybe Death Dealer and Hazstorm here are planning for just a big all-in, and it looks like that's what they're doing. You know, when the first wave doesn't work, try again. They're gonna try to blow everything here through the front door. That's a lot of Banelings. Will the sentries be able to force field in time? And it looks like the force fields come through. So very nice force fielding there at the very last second. That's gonna force the Banelings to detonate on the barracks, and the barracks is now gonna go down. Sentries still have enough energy for more force fields, but there is a hole on the backside, so now these units are gonna be able to get in, and looks like the Roaches and Zerglings are inside the main base now of the Terran and Protoss player. The Pink Jack and Alilkanin do have a couple of Widow Mines down, though those Widow Mines helping so much. There are 3 Widow Mines there, able to shut down those forces as they come in. Now Oracles are coming to help out. They are activating their pulsar beams, and it looks like they are going to be able to maybe take out a couple of Zerglings. Meanwhile, a few Zerglings going to the back expansion, but there is a Zealot back there, and a lot of Roaches and Zerglings going over to Pinkjack's main base, forcing these probes to scurry away. As the Oracles try to deal with that situation at the front door. Meanwhile, Widow Mines have been recharged, and the Widow Mines are so good at shutting down this type of aggression, but now they are all on cooldown, so that means that these Roaches and Zerglings will have a window here to continue to flood into the main base. This is a lot of pressure for the Pinkjack and Alilcanine, but the nice thing for them is they've got air units. They are in no danger of fighting heads up because they've got a lot of Oracles and Mothership Cores and all of that good stuff. They can fight against the Roaches and Zerglings, but the problem is Oracles, when they run out of energy, they cannot continue to fight against units. They require time to recharge. So really, the only unit that is actually fighting right now is the Mothership Core, and I don't know how effective that is against a stream of endless Zerglings and Roaches. The Widow Mines are once again back on cooldown. Their Sentinel missiles have been expended. Gateway's coming up at the front here to try to wall off the back expansion. Very smart right there by the Pinkjack, as he is losing quite a bit of forces. The minimap showing a stream of continuous Zerg coming into the Terran and Protoss main base. Alilcanine is not even mining anymore because he cannot. He does have a Banshee out though. That Banshee could be all the difference here, as really the two Zergs have no way to hit the air units. Oracle's just running around trying to recharge enough energy to make the next hold. Zealots against the wall here, backs against the wall, but they will be able to slice and dice maybe about 5 or 10 Zerglings, maybe more, as more units continue to stream in, but the Oracle's able to clean up the back of the mineral line for Alilcanine, who is now going to start to mine again. And while they did lose a ton of workers, I mean, look at the Terran, he's only down to 6. The Protoss maintains both bases and is still at a very healthy 48 workers. He keeps all of his Oracles and air units alive, and that means that he's got the possibility here to go for a counterattack. Death Dealer and Haststorm need to be careful here. They need to get a lot of Spore Crawlers back up in their main base for fear of enemy retaliation by the Sky units, and if they don't get some spores up, they could lose a hatchery or a lot of drones. And it looks like the Pinkjack here realizing, hey, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go across the middle of the map here. I'm going to go straight for my enemy base. The Banshee's already ahead of him. Alilcanine's like, where are you, man? Come over here and start working on these enemy drones. A lot of Spore Crawlers coming up, but they are not in the best position to deflect the Oracles, I don't think, although we'll see. Depends which way the Oracles go. Banshee coming around the back here. This is the Terran and the Protoss's opportunity to get back in this game. Of course, you remember, Zerg, one of their greatest strengths, especially in team games, is the early game, those first few minutes with the Zergling rush. But when the Terran and Protoss get going, that's when things start to get a little hairy for Zerg, especially double Zerg. It looks like that Banshee just, almost got out of there. One last shot by the Queen takes it down. Had that Banshee been able to run back home, it could have been repaired back up to full HP. But right now it looks like both players, the Terran and the Protoss, are going to just settle back down at home. A couple of Widow Mines actually loaded into a boosted medevac, and the medevac is going to take the long way around. Not too sure if these Overlords actually ended up seeing that medevac going around the backside. And hey, I tell you, if those Widow Mines can get underneath one of these hatcheries, it just becomes a circus show for any Zerg player. They've got to get an Overseer there. If they're not careful, they lose the Overseer to the Widow Mine as well. Got to be very careful how you play that kind of situation out, as this medevac is coming around the backside right now. Meanwhile, the Roach is trying to run through the front door. I don't know about that, man. That's a lot of laser beams. Pew pew. And Pinkjack just says, well, I'm just going to take the middle of the map, no problem, as my teammate burrows his Widow Mines under your drones at the back expansion, and immediately boosting the Widow Mines out of there. Very smart play, as the Widow Mines are on cooldown when the Sentinel missile is used. Why leave them underground and exposed there? Just pull them out with the medevac with the boosters, and then wait for the cooldown to reset, and then come back in for another strike. Very intelligent play here, as the Pinkjack and the Alilcanine are showing that they are a very good 2v2 composition. They've got the chemistry, they've got the teamwork, and I'm almost shocked to say this, but they held off a double Zergling rush, didn't have a wall set up. They were under so much pressure, but it looks like they're going to be able to recover here, and it looks like those Widow Mines once again coming around the back of the main base now, and ripping through the drones. This Widow Mine's got 9 kills, this Widow Mine's got 12 kills, and the income now starting to really even out, as the two Zergs are losing so many workers. They're only to 25 and 46 now. And it even looks like Alilcanine is starting to re-macro back up to full speed. He's got factories pumping out siege tanks as he tries to take the gold expansion to accelerate his rate of growth. Looks like this medevac finally loses her medevac, or her Widow Mine cargo load, and is going to go ahead and run back home. But You know what? This is a super close game. While momentum currently looks like it's on the favor of the Terran and the Protoss, don't count out HDReplays and Death Dealer. They've got a sizable army. They still have a decent amount of economy. And I definitely feel like if they can shut down this gold expansion and prevent the Terran from fully recovering in this game, then they've got a good shot to close this out. But so far, for the last maybe, I don't know, 8 or so minutes, momentum has swung heavily in favor of the Terran and the Protoss, and now a Colossus is out on the field as well. Very scary Protoss army being fielded by the Pink Jack. We do have a Banshee coming around to this back expansion one more time. A Banshee can defeat a Queen by herself. It looks like it will do just that, clearing out some of the anti-air there for this medevac to come in with 3 Widow Mines in cargo, and the 3 Widow Mines going to drop down and plant underneath. While the Spore Crawlers do see this army, it looks like some Banelings are going to come in. Suicide units versus suicide units, and going to scare those Widow Mines away, so they are going to load up and get out of there and wait for their cooldown to go ahead and reset. Meanwhile, Oracles, what are they doing? Got to be careful here. They're pretty expensive units. You don't want to just run them in like that. And I think at this point, when you've got Oracles incorporated into your late game army, it's not so much about their activate pulsar beam, it's a lot more about their time warp ability. Get a couple of great time warps down and slow this Zerg army down, which is mostly melee based. If you slow down a melee based army, you reduce the amount of time you increase the amount of time it takes to get to your army, therefore reducing the amount of damage that it can do towards you. So it's a very nice way to shut down Zerg. The Widow Mines once again re-burrowing thanks to the medevac, which I think at this point has gone down for some reason, probably to a Spore Crawler, but they are in the back of this mineral field. Very annoying for Zergs right now to deal with something like that. And here we go. Storm and Death Dealer thinking about going in here, but the Oracles are there. Will they drop Time Warps? No, Force Fields instead, and there's the Time Warp Fields as well. This is completely screwing with the intelligence, the artificial intelligence of the Zerg units. Really just, they can't go through Force Fields, they can't even barely walk through a Time Warp Field. And that just completely neuters them, so they are forced to retreat. And while they did try to attack and take out this 12 o'clock expansion, it looks like Alilcanine and Pink Jack are gonna make a hold. They're gonna hold on to the gold, and that's gonna further fuel the Terran player's ability to recover in this game, who's currently at 38 harvesters. It almost seems like slowly but surely the territory is continually ceding back closer and closer and closer to the Zerg player's side, as they're just losing control over the middle of the map. Now we have another possible engagement here, as the Zerg was looking to go to the right hand side, but Oracles come in. Colossus just lasering everything down. Good fungal growth, but that's not going to be enough to stop this army. And GG calls the 2 Zerg players. It is over. And a very nice but short 2v2 Heart of the Storm matchup right there. Definitely interesting though, with the early Zerg aggression and these two, the Terran and the Protoss, showing their ability to get back in the game despite against all odds, really. A very nice comeback there, I feel like, after they had taken a lot of damage. Of course, a lot of that goes down to the fact that when you do rush as 2 Zerg players, you sacrifice that early game economy. So if you don't do a lot of damage, then you are behind in this game. I do feel like they did enough damage, but they weren't able to capitalize. So maybe just a little bit too aggressive. Maybe they should have macroed a little bit earlier instead of continually trying to get the early game win. But regardless, a great game of 2v2 Heart of the Storm right there. I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you guys have any great Heart of the Storm matchups, 2v2s, pro gamers playing Heart of the Storm, go ahead and have them send them in to me at HDreplays@gmail.com. Happy New Year's, everybody, 2013. And for now, this is HD StarCraft, and I am signing out.